Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Melida Harris Barrow, living your best life now. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I want you guys to know, I want everyone to know that it is such a pleasure to bring good news to the world. And yes, I say the world because everyone is watching this show. I am getting emails from every part of the world, and I just want to thank all of you for sending the texts, the emails, everything. I have had people all the way from Fiji, from Nigeria, Nigeria, Ghana, all over the world that is watching this show. And that is because it is time to live our best life now. Hello. Oh my goodness. There you guys are already. Let me see who tuned in really quick. Andrea, how are you? And Sydney, Yvonne, all of you. I love you guys. And welcome to my show, Living Your Best Life Now. Well, today the topic is going to be from my book, Unveiling the Illusion. Know who you are. I am telling you, I am so happy I found out. I know who I am now. Hello, Janice, how are you? I found out who I am. I love the fact, let me tell you, I'm very excited because this topic is going to help a lot of you. Oftentimes, we don't know who we are, have no idea of who we are. And that's why we're going around in circles, because I used to go around in circles as well. And I know many of you tonight, you are going to enjoy this show because I am going to empower you. I am going to inspire you. And I am going to do the best that I can in order for you to know who you are, where you're going, where you should be going. And you are the one that is going to be telling me tonight to be. I am that I am. That is so important. I am that I am. Many of you don't understand that phrase, and today we're going to break it down. So let's get started with our show. Again, I just want to say hello to Carlos. Oh, Carlos Weatherburn, how are you, my darling? Rogelio, my cousin Jose Antonio Loman, I love you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Grace, or my queen. I always call her my queen. Hello, Sylvia. And I'm going to tell you, I am empowered. I feel good. I'm ready to go. And my job is to empower you. So let's get started with our show. The show tonight is about to be. To be is, let me explain something to all of you today, because oftentimes we are born into a system, the world system. We are born into culture. From the moment you and I were born into this world, our existence has circumvented within intermittent phases of experience we cannot control. We cannot control where we are placed, the parents that we're born to, the culture, the religion, all of these things, tradition, our environment, all these things plays a part of how we're doing today. Let me say this. I always had a question as a little girl when my parents used to take me to the Catholic Church. I was about 5 years old. And I remember asking, my cousin took me that day to church. This was in Panama, in Colón. And I asked, why is it that the priest is speaking a language that we don't understand? I was only 5, 6 years old. So my cousin said, just be quiet and listen. And I was always curious, but I'm listening, but I don't understand. That's the religion. That's the culture. Just shut up and listen. Well, today I have now the right to ask the question, answer the questions, because I want to live my best life now. And if I do not answer these questions, I'm going to continuously go around in circles. And that is what's happening to us today. The culture, the religion is preventing us to exercise our greatness. You see, we were born great. You and I, we were born great. The problem is due to all of these things that we're going through in our lives, it prevents us from not seeking the greatness because you're already great, but to acknowledge your greatness. If you think that you have to seek greatness, you're going to be forever seeking. Because when I discovered that the priest was preaching or teaching in another language, I asked, was it done on purpose? Were these people meant to listen to the good news from the Bible? And I've always asked the question, why? And that is why today I am getting ready to unveil many illusions that is holding us back. Let's start by talking about titles. Titles, yes, titles. You know, I've asked myself this question. If I was born great, why do I need a title from man? I've always had this issue. And when I was young, I've always wanted to speak. I always was in the mirror talking and speaking. And my grandmother used to say, what are you doing in there? Who are you talking to? And then I'll get quiet for a second and I start talking again. Why? Because God gave me this gift. You see, God gave me a gift that I was exercising from a young child. But guess what? I was told that I need a title. I need to be ordained. I need all these things from men in order to exercise God's gift on this earth. Well, let me tell you something. If you know you're great, why do you need the title in order to become great? I'm already great. I'm already speaking the good news. I don't need, I remember this pastor asked me, I was talking about business in the church, and he asked me, Dr. Barrow, were you ordained? And I quickly said, yes, by God, not by man. You know why? Because if I were to continue to wait for man to ordain me, I still will be waiting, and I still would not be exercising the gifts that God has given me. What I am trying to tell you is this. There's a young lady called me last week, and she said she wants to help children. And I said to her, well, why are you not helping these children? And I'm sure she's watching this show. And she said, because of all the economic issues that she's having. And I said, you don't need money to talk to your next door neighbor's child. You see, we are hindering ourselves from exercising the gifts that God has given us. We cannot do that anymore. We have to speak out. We have to identify our gifts. We have to use our gifts. We have to be. We have to be. You see, we were taught that we were imperfect. The question is, why would God create me to be imperfect? No, he created me perfect. He created me to manage this world. You see, if I continue to believe the things that men are telling me, I will never be. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when God created me, look at how our body is being functioned. Look at all the great things that we can do. But if you keep telling yourself that you are imperfect, imperfect you will be. But if you just implant in yourself and tell yourself, I'm perfect, because God only can create greatness, perfection. It is when you get here, is when society is telling you you're not perfect. You'll never be perfect. Well, I don't want to think that way. I want to believe and I want to think that God created something perfect, but society is diminishing our mind, our way of thinking. And this is why we are holding back all the things that we want to express to the world, all the things that we want to do. If you keep telling yourself that you are imperfect, trust me, you'll never get anywhere. So this is what I'm doing. Look at my life from 20 years ago till today. You know what I've been telling myself? I'm great. I love me. I am perfect, because God can only create perfection. But let me explain more about that, because I know the Christians are going to call me and say, Dr. Melida, no one is perfect. Well, let me tell you this. I want to believe that I am perfect because it helps me to become great. I am great already, but it helps me because I wonder, why will God create something mediocre? Why will God create something that cannot function in this society? Today, it's about unveiling the illusion. I'll go to another part that I want to mention today. I've been working now with a lot of men and women from the continent, from Africa. And this message is for you. I want you to know that if we continue the way that we're going, things are not going to ever work. Notice that you're going around in circles and you wonder why. Why would anyone come to your country to feed you, to clothe you, to do all the things for you? You have become dependent because in your mind, you're probably thinking, I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. I am not great. I am not any of these good things, because you have to realize that's what you were taught. You were even taught that the world outside is different from you. No, you are the builders. You are the creators. You have to tell yourself how great you are and the great things that you can do in this world. So my point to my audience tonight, it is to let you know you were born great. Why are you seeking to be? People tell people, oh, seek the Spirit of God. God is not going to send you on this earth without Him. Without Him. You are a builder. You are a creator. If you didn't know that, Dr. Harris Barrow is telling you that today. You are a builder. You are a creator. Use the gifts that God gave you. If you don't use those gifts, trust me, you're going to die with them. How many people have so many gifts and they're dead today? They never exercise the greatness that God gave them. You see, living life is when you take the proactive approach to opportunities in life. That's what my book says. This is the moment you become the creator of your destiny, not somebody else. And another thing, those business people, you don't have to be under somebody's shadow. I am talking about entrepreneurs. You don't. You can be working with a colleague, but you don't have to be under the shadow of that person. Why? Because God gave you the same things He gave that person: knowledge, wisdom, understanding. The problem is you're not using it. You're not doing anything with it. You're being dependent on somebody to make you great. You're already great. Don't go there. You understand? Choose to live your life. Not everyone on this earth will choose to live their life. They're sitting back waiting for somebody to tell them what to do. Many will only experience it, expecting no more than what has been given to them. Just sitting. Do this for me. Dr. Barrow, can you help me with this? Can you help? But not being independent enough to do it on their own. Let me tell you something. You have the same power Dr. Barrow have. You have the same power that Obama have. You have the same power that all leaders have. The thing is that you've got to go straight into that gut and bring it out. Sometimes it's right there on the surface. And you're saying, you know what? I think I can do that. No, I don't want to hear that you think you can do anything. Do it. If you have a magazine and you're only local, go international. If you have a business and you're sitting there, the mom and pop business, because you don't want to let anybody in to help you, trust me, go out there, be international. You're the one that's holding back. No one is holding you back. Look, many will only experience life like I said. They will accept whatever the little crumbs is thrown at you. God didn't intend for you to receive crumbs. He wants you to have the whole meal, everything. When you pray for something, let it be. Why are you praying 1,000 times for the same thing? What do you think? God is not going to help you to get what you want to get? The thing is, it might not be the right time. He's setting everything up in the background. I've learned that when I pray, I don't beg. I just say, God, give me the knowledge, give me the wisdom, give me the understanding in order for me to exercise what you have given me. I don't pray that I need a car. Why should I pray that I need a car? I don't pray to get a home. I just let God guide me, give me the knowledge, let me know the steps and how to go about it. But you see, faith without works is dead. You have to get up, go and get the information, do what you have to do. That's why you're still sitting there in the same condition that you've been in 20 years ago. The same thing. You see, many people are suffering out there due to despite wealth possession. Somebody can be rich and still suffering. You can be still enslaved to the same psychological conditioning as someone who has accumulated very little in life. But you see, the only difference is that often a rich person with a conditioned mind is more socially acceptable than a poor person with a conditioned mind. You see, our mind is conditioned to think one way. When I ask myself, 1 + 1 is 2, I would taught that. But what if I want to say 1 + 1 is 3? That's my perfection. That's my mind. That's what I want to accept. What if I don't want to accept what I was taught? I have to come out. I have to unveil the illusions of this world and begin to live. You're not living, my people. You're not living. I bet you that every day you get out for work, you take the same route. You go home and do the same things over and over and over again for years. When is it that you're going to come out of that routine? You see, you're great. I don't don't care what you're doing. You were born great. But in your mind, you are a failure. In your mind, you are diminishing who you are and what God created. You can't do that. I stopped doing that from a young age because I realized that there was something wrong. I knew that there was something wrong. Why would you be teaching me the good news in another language, knowing well that I don't speak the language? I don't understand the language. That is the condition, the man, that whatever you're telling me, I don't know, but I better go by the rules. Think about that. Think about those things, because those things are important. People will tell you what you cannot do. That's another thing. Many people out there saying, Dr. Barrow, trust me, I've had the experience where many people say, Dr. Barrow, you can't do that. They've said that to me. You can't do that. But let me tell you something. It's not for them to tell me that. You see, when a person cannot do something, they will tell you what you cannot do. You see, I've learned that long time ago when I was in the city of Chicago and I wanted to do a Caribbean carnival. Everybody, oh, you can't do that. You have no clue how to start. You don't know anything about doing that. But guess what I did? And that is a perfect example. I got up, I went to City Hall, I got the documents, I went to the Park District, I did this, I did that. I traveled to Toronto, I watched how they did their carnival there. I went to Detroit, got this, do all the necessary things that I needed to do. Voila! I had a Caribbean carnival in the city of Chicago on Michigan Avenue. And even then they said, you didn't do that. Some white person helped you to get that done. You see, that's what I'm talking about. If you allow people to tell you what you cannot do and then not do it, then you're going to fail. I want to advise you. I want to tell you, whatever you want to do this minute, you want to start a business, you want to go to college, you want to stop drinking and smoking and doing whatever you want to do. You want to be the mayor of a city, you want to be the president, you want to do whatever. Do it. Get up and do it. Stop listening to your friends. Stop listening to your family. Because they are the main one that's going to tell you all what you cannot do. You have to do it. Why? You are great. You are great. Always tell yourself, God created me great. God did not create me to fail. You're failing because you're listening to the noises. That's the problem. You understand? We have to, and I'm going to advise those that are telling people what they cannot do. I don't want you to do that anymore. I want you guys to listen to me really carefully. Don't ever tell anyone what they cannot do. What I would like you to say is, do it, man. I know you can do it. Sister, I know you can do it. Push. And if you need me to help you, sister, I will help you. Brother, get up and do it. If your wife's telling you you can't do it, don't listen to her. Go do it. If your husband is telling you, I don't think you can do it, you go do it. Because sometimes spouses are the very one that's telling you all what you cannot do. When a man said, hey, I want to do this. Oh, honey, I don't think you can do it, because do it. You're great. You got the power. You see, don't seek power within. You were born with it. Society and Christianity Christians always telling you, you got to seek the power. What power? You're born with the power. I'm not going to let anybody tell me that I don't have the power within. I can be whatever I want to be. You understand? And that's what I'm going to do. So you have to believe in yourself. Stop waiting for people to believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. Because not oftentimes somebody's going to say, I believe in you. So you have to have the power and the strength to say, let's go. Another thing I want to read to you today is, it reminds me, it's in my book, and I want to read this to you because this is exactly what we are going through in the world. And I want you guys to listen to me really, really carefully. And I'm reminded all the time, and when I teach the young people, I tell them this story. It's about an elephant in Africa. For several years, it lived its life on its belly, tied down to a pole, so afraid to stand up because society has put in his head that he's weak. For many years, it stayed there, tied down and oppressed. One day, the elephant did something it never dared to do before. It looked up. As long as the elephant kept its eyes towards the sky, it began to lift its trunk to the heavens. Slowly, it felt a shift in the ground that began to shake his spirit. He felt the ground break and dared to the impossible. He stood up. As he stood up, the pole came out of the earth. The elephant was free, yet the elephant stood there puzzled. He stood there puzzled with a look on his face. He noticed something though. He was not tied down. The elephant was naturally and spiritually crippled for several years because man tied him down and made him believe he didn't have the strength to break free. He believed man knew more about his strength, about his knowledge, courage, and intelligence than he did. You, my people, you must realize that our heaviest burdens are those self-imposed. You are the one that's hindering yourself. The elephant did not need man to loosen the ropes so that he can access his greatness. He was already great because he was born great. It is imperative, listen to me carefully, it is imperative that we are to be. In order to achieve our greatness, waiting on man is like suffocating or holding our breath until man, holding our breath, listen to me, until someone tells us to breathe. Why wait on man to give you something that is not theirs to give in the first place? Be as you were born to be, boundlessly great. So if you keep thinking that man is going to give you something to become powerful, don't do it. You're already great. Notice titles. When somebody have a title, they feel great. When somebody have a title, their personality changes. They become the president, or they become a minister, or they become whatever they may become. Personalities start changing because the title is what's making them change. You know why? Because they did not know that they are already great. Dr. Melida Harris Barrow don't need a title to know that she's great. She already knows that she's great. And because she knows that she's great, she's going to continue to move this earth, move these mountains, all the mountains in the world. I am going to move. Why? because I know what I have. I know who I am. I know what God created. He created me in his image. Therefore, I am. I am going throughout the world, speaking truth. Speaking truth to the world. You see, a title is not needed to establish your greatness. You are already, I'm going to keep repeating it. You're great. Men will tell you without a title, you have not fulfilled the requirements necessary to consider what it is that you want to be. Let me put it to you this way. Did it take a master degree in art for you to become an artist? From the moment you began to draw upon your imagination and inspiration and feeling all what you're feeling to do your art, the piece of paper, certificate that gives you a title is a tool used in a market for which it was designed by those who control it. In other words, if you want to help the children out there, you don't need a title to help the children. If you want to speak to others and uplift them and inspire them, you call it life coach today, and you call it motivational speaker. Do it. The world needs it. Stop waiting for a piece of paper. If you want the paper, go ahead. But I started without it. And I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm accomplishing all these goals because I cannot wait for man. I can only go with what God gives me. And that is a great talent to move the earth, like I said before, and encourage people for them to be who they are supposed to be. Man and woman of God. You see, the accomplishments in your life are based on your goals, are based set for your life by you, not by man. Remember what success is. Success, I had to unveil that illusion, and I'm going to talk about that's my last chapter, but I had to unveil that illusion because success was designed and created for me by this society. Dr. Barrow, you cannot be successful if you're living in a small house with a little Toyota or whatever. You have to have the Benz, you know. You have to have the 6-bedroom home to be successful, to define yourself as success. Well, let me tell you what I did, my people. I redefined success for me. I redefined success for me because if I go with man's definition of success, I'm going to be working for the rest of my life. That all frustration just to pay, just to tell the world I'm successful. I define my success. I redefine my success. So in order for you to be successful, redefine your success. My success is exactly what I am doing right this second. This is success for me. This is the power that God gave me, not man. So what I'm saying to you, define your success and be happy and stop waiting to become successful based on what man is doing to you. If you really sit down and think honestly about the things you really want to do in life, you're already successful. It's done. If you go back and define what you really want, you might discover, guess what? I'm already successful. But if you're going by the world's definition of success, you're going to keep going like a robot. And that is living your best life now, knowing who you are, not what the world is telling you to become. That's why I'm so at peace. I'm so in love with myself in a positive way, in a way where all the love that I have inside, I'm sharing it with the world. And that's what it's about. Share that love that you have in the world. Don't wait for paper. You can get your paper, but don't wait to get that title or that position in order to do the great things God gave you to do. I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys. You know, I feel like partying right now. I feel like dancing. Why? I'm living my best life now. And I want you guys to live your best life now. Where's the music? You know what? I'm going to have to get some music for my show, because at the end of the show, I want to dance. I really want to dance. So next time, I'm going to have this show with some music. I want to thank all of you that tuned in. Carlos, I love you. Many of you that are tuned in. Let me see who I can see. Carlos Vargas, Richard Murray, Eric. Look, I love you guys. And I want you to tune in again next week, Thursday. We're going to have another great topic for you. Look for it. Subscribe, please, to www.melidaharrisbarrow.com. And also, I want to thank, because there are people sponsoring my shows now, and I want to thank marketing consultant and CMO, Ed Winfrey. I love you, my darling, at Nikiti Business Consultant at CMO, and also Mills Realty. I want to thank you guys for supporting me in the way that you do. Normally when I have a little program, they'll come out and they'll support me. I love you guys, Leroy Viamil and Edward Winfrey. And I want to thank my husband for giving me all the support that he have done. And family, you are great. I love you, my brothers and my tia Lydia and everybody that is always watching the show. I love you guys. And remember, greatness is already there. Don't be looking for it. And also we have on Facebook, Living Your Best Life Now on Facebook. You can always go in there. We can always chat after the show or whenever you would like if you have questions. And another thing, I want my young people, I'm getting ready to start a talk show, but it's going to be, we're going to do it in another program. But I want the young people to start subscribing, because we are going to have a show for you also. I have to teach my young people about business, social issues, and encourage them. We have to do this. We cannot keep sitting back just talking about all the negative things our young people are doing. We have to get into action. People, all of you that are retired and you're sitting there and you want something to do, call Dr. Melida Harris Barrow. I have a lot of work that you guys might want to join me. So I love you, mwah, 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 as usual. And thank you for tuning in once again. Living your best life now. Thank you. Have a blessed night.